What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of HawksNest. I'm your host, as always, Riley Feeden, and my co-host, Matty Dub. What up?
What's up, buddy?
All right, we had a jam-packed episode. We kind of touched on the Seahawks draft. We talked about a bunch of other teams' drafts and kind of our little back and forth points on the quarterbacks and the quarterback situation. Another quarterback situation going on in Green Bay. Drama. Aaron Rodgers situation, we kind of give our thoughts on that. We talk about TB12 and his brand. Is he going for more? Matty wants him out. We go into a lot of depth about what we got with the Seahawks offensive line in the future. Jump into it right here we go.
That's all I want to do. All I want to do is talk about the Seahawks. We haven't really talked about it.
Okay, fair. So what do you want to talk about in regards to the Seahawks?
Well, let's start with the draft. Because, I mean, honestly, when you and I watched the draft together, okay? And obviously when Eskridge was picked up, I wasn't real thrilled. I wasn't. I didn't.
No,
I
you
didn't.
weren't.
No, I was pissed. Straight up pissed. I had a long day. I wasn't feeling it. I was done. But at that point, that's not what I thought we needed to address position-wise. I don't think Eskridge is a bad player. I think he's going to scheme fit really well. I think he gives us lots of options. I think he's going to be an athlete. He's not, I don't know. I want to kind of compare him to Percy Harvin just because of the skill set that he brings. He's really quick. I think we can run him on jet sweeps. He's going to be deadly in the slot position, just screaming up the seam. I think he's just going to be fast. Run him a little wide receiver slot screens.
I love that you brought up Percy Harvin because that's exactly who I think that's exactly who he reminds me of is the Percy Harvin. That's just somebody who it's such a good comparison. He's just that scat.
He's electric.
Yeah, he's just a different speed, and it's not. Right. It's nothing against Tyler Lockett, nothing against DK Metcalf. I think Seahawks fans are going to get a different kind of speed. I think
it is.
He presents a different kind of speed. He's
a change of direction.
He's like Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I said he was like a fast Doug Baldwin. Like he's angry. Like he runs angry. He plays pissed off. When he talks, he sounds exactly like a Seahawk. He's hardworking. He didn't expect to be here. He broke something. Had some medical issue and then switched from a position. And then it's a wild story. He talks just like a Seattle Seahawk. It's awesome to hear. And then he had an explosive year last year. So Seahawks fans have that to be excited about. And then maybe in the Shane Waldron offense, he just blows up. He just has a fucking great season in that number 3 role. People are going to try and take the top off with DK Metcalf and then the crossing routes and the stuff that Tyler Lockett kills you with, obviously. But that third little option plus Gerald Everett, that's a pretty lethal. This will probably be the most loaded Seahawks offense that Russ has played with.
I'm glad you brought up Gerald Everett because I'm so sold that he's going to be an intricate part of our offense, and maybe not even as an action player. Like maybe he doesn't get the ball all the time, but I think just giving him little sneaky things here and again is going to cause defenses to have to keep an eye on him. And if that takes somebody out of position and opens up a running lane for Carson, or it takes a guy out of coverage and you got Eskridge screaming on a drag route or something like that, and it opens that up because you've fooled him with emotion. I just think Gerald Everett is going to be a really confusing piece on our offense, and it's going to mess with defenses. But that being said, the draft, I'm still pissed. I was still kind of pissed about Eskridge, honestly. I knew all that about him when they picked him. I'm like, he fits our scheme. I was totally aware of that. I respected the pick. I thought he was worth taking there. It just wasn't for me at that point, the need that we needed to meet right then and there. I thought that was something we could have filled a little later on. But they totally redeemed themselves with the rest of the draft, I think. That breakdown on Stone Forsythe we did, and just what he's bringing to the table, super excited. Super excited.
I'm super jacked up about Stone Forsythe. So, and I've asked about Eskridge. Are you totally good? Because this was the first pick that the Seattle Seahawks had, right? And then you totally went AWOL. We were watching the draft, grinding through, loving it, kind of watching for Quinn Miners and Seahawks pick and everything. And then you get the Eskridge pick, and then you're just you just dipped. So are you good? Did you get this off? Did you get it off your chest?
Yeah, I did. And just because of what Seattle did later on in the draft and what they acquired later, especially with Stone Forsythe, it just okay, They did it. Now I still think we're lacking on the interior line a little bit. I mean, you're pretty sold on Posick being the guy, and as of now, he is. So get on board or get off. It's done. Posick seems like our starting center. Get over it. But I'm a little worried about depth still. I mean, I don't know. I think Brandon Shell is another guy on the offensive line that's really, really good, but I don't really want to get into him right now. Let's keep it on the draft. And then the only one, what do you think about Trey Brown? I'll just start it off with that because I'm a little bit confused. Not confused, but it's just a weird pick. I don't dislike it, but it's different. He's not a typical Seahawks corner.
The word I keep hearing is feisty. The word feisty is around, but when I watch him play, he looks like DJ Reed. He looks just like DJ Reed 2.0. Like he looks like the Seahawks saw what they have in DJ Reed, and they were like, you know what, maybe if we fall in love with a guy that is 5'9", shorter arms kind of thing. It wasn't a typical pick. It kind of came out today. John Schneider said they were drafting for more of the player, like the person, rather than the actual
ability or skill set kind of
thing.
Like
everything it's more about the intangibles and the person because they didn't have anything about medical backgrounds and all that stuff. So I think that was a big pick. I think he can be we talk about it all the time, is competitive. Like you just having the competitive nature and bringing in another guy who's hungry and a grinder. That's okay. And by the way, both of these guys, Eskridge and Trey Brown, can return.
I was going to say special teams.
Yeah. When was the last time we had somebody that was able to be a game-changing wrecker at Percy Harvin, Tyler Lockett when he was doing it frequently, but that's how Tyler made his name, was in special teams and in returning the ball. And then he made bigger plays down the road in the slot and kind of in the receiver position, and then kind of took over that role. But we haven't had an impact at that position since probably Tyler Lockett.
Well, we were desperate. We were desperate for a bit. They had well, I mean, this is a while ago now, but just to say how long it's been since we've had a competent special teams returner, they were trying to field returns with Earl Thomas for a while there. Like, dude,
Doug Baldwin was taking returns, and then Tyler Lockett was taking returns. DJ Reed took returns. Freddie Swain took returns last year. Travis Homer, I believe. Sherman returned a couple times in the past few years, or in the previous years. But like we haven't had any like massive game breaker. So Eskridge returning is hype, and then also you have Trey Brown as a possible returner too. Like kick return, one of them can do kick return, one can do punt return. That could be the way it is. Trey Brown, 4-year kick returner at Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner, baby. Like 4 years as that returner, like even as a freshman.
Well, if he's already on the defense, it's so easy. It's just too easy. Throw him back there to return the punt, and if he's good. Remember Ed Reed returning punts? He was electric.
E.D. Reed, boy.
E.D. Reed. So going back to the kind of like the player personality, it's funny you mentioned feisty. I read something on Twitter today that Pete Carroll, or no, it was John Schneider. John Schneider was on a Seahawks radio show this morning, and he made a comment about having brought in players during the LOB era who were more in awe of what was ahead of them instead of coming in and trying to compete for their job. So you had these younger guys coming in and just like, this is the Legion of Boom. I'm not going to start, so I'm just going to kind of fill my role, which is a backup. Yeah, they're going to coast, and that's not what they wanted. So to hear you say that the Seahawks are focusing on kind of a guy's personality and that feisty, tenacious ability, I think maybe that stems from that. And I think it's a sweet move. You drafting character is huge. The guy,
I think it was a great move. Trey Brown, Trey Brown, when he was in the interviews and stuff like that, from what I've seen in the press and the media and stuff like that, really good dude, but very hungry. Like he knows he's good, but he's got that 5'9" mentality. Like somebody who he wanted to go against. He said in an interview, somebody that Trey Brown said in an interview that he wanted to go against was his now teammate was DK Metcalf.
There you go.
Like he's a 5'9" corner that 5'9", 190 pounds, runs a 4.4. Great. Fantastic. But like if DK gets the ball thrown at him, he's 6'5" and got a massive wingspan. But this guy wants to compete. And I think that's what he's not starstruck. I think that's what Pete's trying to bring that mentality back. And he doesn't want have stars here. But you can be a star too. Look how fast he took it over. We can have a revolution of the kind of superstars and continue to push through this. Eskridge, somebody who we take in the second round and be like, look, you could take over for Tyler. You could push over, push for a starting position. And who knows, in 2 years, what's going to happen. You know that the money's going to change and the money's going to get bigger and stuff like that. So contract buyouts and maybe Tyler Lockett's bought out or Tyler Lockett decides to retire in a few years. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But
we have that contingency
depth. Now we have wide receiver 3. Now we have a contingency plan at the tackle position. If somebody goes down in camp, I can say, okay, thank God we have Stone Forsythe. We're not scrambling to look on free agency market. We're not scrambling to be like, oh my God, we need to make a trade. We need to make a trade. We need to make a trade. Like, we're not doing that. We have a contingency plan with somebody who has played both tackle positions, took him in the 6th round, had 2nd, 3rd round grades, whatever. Fantastic value. I think it was a steal. I also think the Seattle Seahawks had the greatest steal in the undrafted category in K. Johnson. K. Johnson looks like Tyler Lockett 2.0. Our boy Rob Statton, loved him. Interviewed him, did a little piece on him. If you haven't already checked that out, go check out Rob's page. He's fantastic. If you haven't checked out our interview with Rob, he calls it. He talked about Cade in our podcast episode with him. Listen, K. Johnson is somebody who will come into the Seattle Seahawks building and just make everybody better because he's going to elevate their game. People are going to see him play and be like, damn, this dude's undrafted. Like, he just finds a way to be open. He just finds a way to make plays. He's sneaky good. That's what I like to categorize him as that. He's sneaky good. Doug Baldwin, again, easy comparison. Tyler Lockett, another easy comparison. Late round guys, undrafted guys that just fit the Seattle Seahawks, compete, bust their ass, work hard, and honestly make the team better. K. Johnson is exactly that. As far as the other guys, you got somebody you're kind of like, but you were obsessed with that position too. Like, I don't get why you're obsessed with the tight end position. Huh?
Ooh.
What? You're obsessed with your obsession with the tight end position.
Me, but like, who am I upset? Who am I talking about? Who am I thinking about?
The big German tight end, bro.
He's not a tight end.
Yeah, he is. What is he?
He's a linebacker, bro.
No, I don't even know what the fuck he is.
I don't even know. Get out of here.
How is he?
No, he's a linebacker, that German dude. I don't know.
So you're jazzed up about a linebacker that
hold on. We don't right now. Our linebacker position is weird. So we have our solid Mike, and we're gonna move Jordan Brooks to that Will spot, it seems. But what is it, Darrell Taylor at the Sam position right now?
Like right this second? Probably.
Like right in this second? Yeah, I don't know if I'm confident in that. So I mean, at least there's a little depth there with that dude. He seems really athletic from what I can see on him. I didn't really do my homework. Don't get me wrong. I'm not watching film on this dude, but he seems really athletic.
There's nothing out there.
No. Like, he seems really athletic. He's here. Maybe he shows up and shows out. Shit happens all the time. Anybody can fucking win in this
I don't
league.
know. I just like when the Seahawks take flight. I like when the Seahawks take flyers on guys like that. Hardworking guys that are just grinders, trying to be in grinding, trying to get their dreams and stuff like that. And then it's always good to have, and it's also good to have camp bodies that keep Bobby and keep Jordan and those guys fresh.
Yeah. Well,
let's be honest. Come on, come on.
He's probably not going to play, dog. He'll be.
It's a great story. He's probably.
It's a great story.
It's a great story.
That's it.
Dude,
but we need to. But KJ, we like at that Sam position.
All right. Hold on.
We need to bring in Mr. KJ.
Timeout. We got to discuss it. We got to discuss the elephant in the room, Matty. We got to discuss the elephant in the room. The two guys.
What? Well, KJ
coming back and Richard, are they coming back?
I hope so. I haven't really recently. I haven't. Have you looked? Have you looked at the money lately? I haven't, honestly.
No, there's no money. There is no money.
Yeah.
I don't need to look. But regardless.
There's no money. What are we doing? We want these guys.
There's no money, bro. I don't know what you want from me. Like, there is no money. We have no money. There's like $1 million in cap room. Jamal needs to sign his extension. They need to figure this out, which I believe, from what I'm reading and seeing, Jamal's extension usually will get done like right before camp. That's usually when they get done. Hopefully that's done. and I hope Dwayne Brown's is done.
Oh,
So if those
extend Dwayne Brown,
you can extend him from like 2 years, and then he can retire.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Just retire Seahawks instead of hitting the open market and having to relocate his family at 37 or 36 years old. Come stay in Seattle for one more year.
Like it depends on what he wants to get paid. Like I agree with that, but you just
true,
hammer on the head.
True,
like I'm not paying him like.
If someone's willing to, but the market this year didn't seem like it was. The market this year, I mean, maybe was weird, but it didn't seem like anyone was going to get a massive deal. Even Brandon Sheriff didn't get
the tackles. The tackles.
I think he got tagged. I don't believe Dwayne Brown would be somebody that's like, if we extended him for a year, as long as the money made sense, and then it also made sense this year, so it made Sherm and I think the longer we wait, the more KJ is going to come back and be able to play. Like if he wants to play.
I don't think they're going to want to come back for training camp. I think that's what we're seeing. I think we're going to see two vet dudes hold up out of training camp. They're like, "Listen, I've been here, done that. I'm done. I'm gonna become a professional. I'm gonna come back in shape, but I'm not coming for all this bullshit. Okay, give me my jersey come game day. Okay,
because we got
booby
this.
This is God-given. I just got to show up.
Hey, booby, you didn't lift. I don't need to lift. Great movie. And he can pass.
Oh shit.
Classic.
Damn. But yeah, those are guys. I think we need them. Just overall.
For sure.
And then I don't know. The offensive line, let's kind of rip into that real quick, Styles.
I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. I'm totally.
You're good? Are you happy
totally
with
happy.
You're happy
Everything.
with it?
It's gonna be.
I'm talking now. I want to talk future a little bit. Not this year. Oh yeah, no, I'm happy with offensive line this year. I'm talking future a little bit here. So you just said Dwayne Brown come back on a 2-year extension. I don't know if he plays that long. So that's this year and next year.
Don't quote me on shit. Maybe a
year.
year.
I know, but no, it's hypothetical. It's just hypotheticals we're talking. Nobody knows shit.
Yeah. So play the hypothetical too. So maybe a 2-year deal on him, and then pay Jamal whatever he wants. I don't care what.
No. Hold on. Let's just try and see what this offensive line is going to look like over the next 3 or 4 years. Because I think Brandon Shell, assuming he can stay healthy, is like someone we should re-sign for the next 3 years or so, 3 or 4 years. I think he could be a lock at the right tackle position. Yeah, dude, I do. Like he's performed pretty well over his entire career. His health has been an issue. Maybe I don't know what to say about that. Like if he can't stay healthy, then no, he's got to go. That's cut and dry. But
he's not as good in the run game. That's my only issue. And as a right tackle.
Not everyone's perfect.
Like,
you can't you know what I mean? I just think he's good enough. Like he's somebody right now that we can feel comfortable with at right tackle. I'm not worried about the right tackle position.
But you just said there's a lot of good talent at the tackle position on the market. So why would we pay somebody who is more well-rounded and fits our scheme better and is better at the maybe at staying healthy? And
well, I'm saying there's guys on the market, but these dudes are old, bro. They're good. They're old.
Why not take a 1-year flyer on a guy while you develop Big Stone Forsyth for the left tackle position, and then take a veteran position at the right? So then you can keep that. The thing people don't understand.
But Brandon Shell is that veteran presence.
Brandon Shell is that? Yeah, okay, maybe. I think.
What I mean?
Okay,
you move Stoney to the left.
In the future, Stone Forsyth, boom, left tackle. I think he's a lock to be the left tackle in the next couple of years. Maybe Dwayne. It depends on how he does in camp. If he could show out in camp and be, maybe it's a little bit zoomed up, but maybe he doesn't, and they're like, oh, we got to figure this out. So left tackle position, Stone Forsyth. I think Damian Lewis, left guard position, and then you got Posick at the center position right now. You got right guard, Gabe Jackson. That's another few years down the road. You're going to have that veteran presence staying in the locker room.
So hold on. You see Seattle moving Stone Forsyth into the left tackle position in the next couple of years. Maybe we re-sign Dwayne for a 2-year extension this year. That locks him in for next season, depending if he wants to play. Maybe he retires. Yep. It just kind of gives him that availability. If Stone Forsyth has a good camp, maybe we have the opportunity to shuffle him into that position next season early. And then if we have a lock at left guard with Damian Lewis, Gabe Jackson sticking around for a few years, so he's going to stay over there at right. And reiterating, I think Brandon Shell could be that piece at right tackle for a few years. He's 29 years old. He had a bit of health issues last year, but he played well when he was in the game for the most part. If he can stay healthy, and continue to produce like he has been, I think he's fine at that spot, and he'll eventually provide that veteran presence at the tackle position once Dwayne Brown is gone. I think it could be a good move.
I'm out on B-Shell. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I'm gonna still root for him and everything for this year, and I'm really but I'm not. It's not somebody I want to like say I want to hang my hat on and be like, yeah, you know what? Future of the right tackle position lies in Brandon Shell's hands. I'm good. Okay, like honestly, there's better options out there in free agency right now. There's options in the free agency future. I think keeping people within the locker room is what I was trying to get at with Posick. I think the contingency, like him having year after year and not changing up offensive lines and making that room is very tight knit. To have a good football team and to have a successful winning football program in the NFL, I believe that that's the most tight knit group that you need to have. The offensive line.
It's funny you say that because I was literally going to bring that up as a counterpoint to your statement about moving a different guy into the right tackle slot. I completely agree. It needs to be a tight-knit unit. Brandon Shell has been a part of that unit now. If he can move forward in a positive light, why not? He hasn't been around
the Seahawks for very long. Like
no,
Posick's been around the Seahawks for 4 or 5 years now, and then Damian Lewis is going to be 2-3 years. You're talking about 2-3 years down the road. Honestly,
yeah, and by then Brandon Shell has that time in.
Brandon Shell's contract's up at the end of the year, and I'm good. But we don't need to re-sign him.
You just don't think we re-sign him at all?
No, I just don't think we re-sign him. And then they look elsewhere. Either they can go into the draft. We can kind of see what D. Brown does. Because who knows? Dwayne Brown could just sign that two-year extension, and then Stone Forsythe could kick over to right tackle.
That would be cool.
Right tackle at left tackle. So
that might be a good way to get his feet wet in the NFL, getting some actual starts, and then have Dwayne Brown over there for his last little final season, really get this young guy in good shape, and maybe we're set up there. Yeah, that's a good plan. I fuck with that.
100%. I'm excited about the Seahawks offensive line future. But the cornerstones need to be D-Lou, and it needs to be Stone Forsythe. Those two need to be developed and taken care of very well over the next few years, because those guys have a lot of talent and could be the future.
No doubt. Dude, there's a lot of things happening this week. So aside from the Seahawks, like we had the draft and all, we brought a bunch of people in. It's all exciting. Training camp got underway. We'll get into that. We got to see what these guys can do. But right now, Aaron Rodgers blew everything up.
Oh my God. How about the bombshell that was dropped right before the draft? And we were all sitting there like, oh my God. And then Shefty just boom and walks away. Like there's no way in hell he didn't just like pick his phone up, tweet this out, and then just walk away from his phone. There's no way. And then all the information that's coming out today that, that's not coming from this and it's not, and then he took some shit for the way he reported it. And it's like, Mike, and people are saying discrediting Adam Schefter. But he's not wrong. He's just doing his job. Listen, if Aaron Rodgers somehow ends up on there's no way he's playing for the Green Bay Packers. I'm so excited to not have to see him.
Hold on. The best part about this is we listen to Packers fans talk all that shit about Russell Wilson, and hey, we still might have some problems there. We're not off. We're not out of the woods yet. But hey, at least our dude didn't drop a bombshell on draft day. That has to be the biggest fuck you for drafting Jordan Love. Like, you're gonna draft a quarterback when I'm expecting a receiver? Well, guess what? I'm gonna tell you, I'm not playing on draft day, bitch. I'm petty like that.
And then my favorite part is that he goes, well, I don't think it was Aaron Rodgers, because if you think about it like this, Matt. I don't think he was the one to leak this information, okay? Because he had this massive weekend that he plans out to go to the Kentucky Derby, okay? Yeah. Why would he, with all the press and everybody that's there and all his friends, and he's going there with the wifey and everything.
Doesn't want to deal with that shit.
And, after being the MVP of the league and everything too,
because he's petty and he just wants to fuck the Packers.
You really think? But he's a smart man. Okay, Jeopardy comes into this, because I had to say this to my wife yesterday. Jeopardy comes into play here because Jeopardy this is a very established, distinguished position that Jeopardy is. Why in the hell would they want somebody that is going to be loud and yelling and screaming? Now, I am reiterating Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk. Like, why wouldn't you take the source from the players? AJ Hawk was like with Aaron Rodgers this whole weekend, at the Kentucky Derby. People are having him on all these news shows, but he's on a news show for 3 hours every day with Pat McAfee.
Mm-hmm.
These guys aren't bullshitting. They tell it how it is. JC Treader, who's like on the NFLPA and is like one of the union representatives, came on yesterday and they were talking like, you need to come on and talk this shit because people don't understand how they treat the players and they're bullshitting us right now. And I got people trying to jam a freaking helmet in my chest in the middle of freaking April because they're going to make a roster spot. And I'm, 9 years deep and I'm coming in on my days off for this. That's what they're fighting about, these voluntary camps and stuff like that. That's kind of it. But getting back to Rodgers, like, why wouldn't you listen to AJ Hawk? Why would he want to ruin his weekend? Why would he want to do that? Why would he jeopardize Jeopardy? Pun intended.
True.
Why would he want to, risk all of that?
And
he's got such a good image, right, in the NFL right now. Like, either people think because honestly, I was this guy a few months ago. I didn't like Rodgers. I thought he was arrogant. I thought he was cocky. I thought he was capable of doing something like this. And here we are. I don't think he's capable of doing that. I don't think he wanted his image to make it like this. Now things are coming out about his wife living in Denver and his wife wanting things in Denver and da-da-da-da-da. Maybe he just wants out and he wants to go to Denver.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life. He gets Jeopardy. He gets to do the things he wants. Rancher, kind of got that, cowboy thing. He's already played in the cold. Why does he want to go and play in Denver and have to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year, Matty?
He said he wants to do that. He said he wants to beat Patrick Mahomes.
Twice a year? Like, that's the arrogance.
He dead ass no. Yeah, wow. It is, right?
Wow.
He literally came out and said he wants Patty Mahomes. He wants to beat him in the wild card round. He wants to send him to the wild card round.
Well, at least that's what's being said or whatever is happening. Like, we're just wow. Like, I don't know. Wow. Like, he's that
to say, like, here's the deal. I don't think he really tarnished his name when that bombshell dropped. Like, for a guy like me, like, I take it as petty, and
but
I think it's
Packers fans thought it was him. Still think it's him. Do you think it's him?
If it was, I don't like for the Packers fans, that's a loyal fan base. I don't want to talk shit about the Packer fan base. They don't deserve that. But you as a fan base need to see that organization is not running well and they're not treating their quarterback well. And it's kind of like what the Seattle did with Russell Wilson. Like, back the player. This organization wasn't doing their part. Now, I get it's a very team-driven thing and players, we get attached, but there's you and I both kind of have a player-first mentality. These are human beings, and like, they're out here doing their work, their best. And if organizations aren't doing their end, I feel like they should be held accountable. And I think if Aaron Rodgers wants to hold them accountable and the fan base wants to turn on Rodgers, you guys got it twisted. You as a fan base should be furious. You have 2 Super Bowls after 32 years of Hall of Fame quarterbacks. You should be furious, but not with Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Okay? You should be back in A-Rod. Your front office is a joke. That's it. And if it was Rodgers, all the power to him. I got no beef with it. I don't think it reflects poorly on his character. And if it is Rodgers, hear me out for a second. Recently, we've seen these younger quarterbacks, and it's kind of like a millennial mentality, hey? They come in and they have this sense of entitlement. And they're like, listen, this is bullshit. Fix it. Now, Rodgers is a little old school, okay? He's come in where you just put your head down and you fucking work. There's a lot to be said for that. But look at where it's got him. And now he sees these young kids coming in here talking all this shit after he's been put through the dirt, getting none of it. And he's like, you know what? This is fucking bullshit. I've had enough. It's my turn. I've been putting up with this for too long. These little kids are coming in here demanding stuff. No.
Why does Patty Mahomes get all these toys? Why does Patty Mahomes get run around in the Super Bowl and then all of a sudden he's like, I don't have an offensive line. And then all of a sudden the Kansas City Chiefs, boom.
That's one of the best offensive lines in the league.
We had no money, but now we have the best offensive line in the league. Orlando Brown, Joe Thuney, Kyle Long comes out of retirement, decides to wear number 69 and be the GOAT of all mans. Like, he's just coming out of retirement to block for Pat Mahomes and just be like, you know what? Yeah.
Like, even Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson got a new toy at a receiver position. The first draft pick they took was a receiver for Russ, okay? They got Gabe Jackson on the offensive line. They drafted a young left tackle. Even the Seahawks.
So you gotta whine a little bit.
Hey, Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Sometimes
squeaky wheel gets the grease. Sometimes you just got to let a motherfucker know what you want. It's all about communication. And if people aren't listening, make them listen.
Hey, and these quarterbacks, I think these quarterbacks are figuring out that there is a massive platform for them. Big time. Like, Aaron Rodgers could tweet something tomorrow. He doesn't realize how big of a fucking platform he has. He could send the NFL into yeah.
Tweeting the mitochondria is something of the cell. Or the powerhouse of the cell. And people are losing their mind. Like, the power of these athletes.
What does that even mean, Kobe Bryant? What does that even mean, Kobe Bryant?
I agree. I think the platform they have. Plus, let's be real. People know you need a quarterback. You do.
Yeah.
And like, and now the fan bases, and you talk about the player platform, the fan bases have a platform. I heard rumors that the San Francisco 49ers picked Trey Lance because the 49er fan base was so against Mac Jones.
Shut up.
I heard it somewhere. I read it somewhere. Apparently the 49er fan base has that kind of, well, I'm not saying they have that kind of influence, but you have to understand.
Niner gang or whatever they call themselves.
If you're, think about it though, if you're an owner of an NFL team, you're a GM of an NFL team, let's be real, it's a business and you got to win games to make money. But if you don't have fans supporting you, you don't make money either. The fans are starting to realize they maybe have a bit of pull too.
Well, do you think, I don't know if the fans really have I don't think
owners
give a shit. But obviously, did you see Mike Mayock? Mike Mayock drafted Alex Leatherwood in the first round and said, I don't give a fuck.
Hey,
I don't care what draft experts say.
Pete Carroll's been bad for that too. He doesn't give a fuck. They take who they want. A lot of players, people do, but I don't think it's far to say that the noise that the fan base creates actually reaches their ears now. And so whether that has an influence or not is totally predicated on a personality.
So we come full circle now. We come full circle. Do you think Packers Nation and Cheesehead Nation has a say right now? Because I think the narrative right now is that they were booing a commercial at the mill or a commercial of him or something with Aaron Rodgers today that we saw. Like, what is all that about? Like, is Packer Nation turning on Aaron Rodgers?
I think they totally are.
That they have, and they're like, you know what? It's Jordan Love time. Get him out of here. You know, we don't need him. Yeah. What are you guys talking about? This guy just won MVP. You guys drafted a quarterback in the first round, and he goes out and wins MVP. You take the ball out of his hands at the end of the NFC Championship game. You guys don't deserve him.
No, 100%. 100%.
Denver's going to take him for like pennies, I believe, because he's going to say, I only want to go to one place, or he's just not going to play because Jeopardy's going to give him $10 million to do whatever he wants. To
work for like 3 months a year.
Why would you go back to an organization and a fan base that doesn't even want you?
Especially the fan base. Like if you're Aaron Rodgers and you've dedicated as much as you have, and you've been as successful as you have and as successful as you could be with what's around you, what do you want from the guy?
You don't deserve him.
What do you want from the guy?
I got no other. I can't say anything else more than that. Like to the people, this isn't to the entire fan base either. This is just to the people that think Aaron Rodgers is the one putting this out there. There's no way. You're seeing the control that the owners have over these situations, and that these guys are billionaires for a reason.
Mm-hmm. There's another thing to be said for the coaching, right? So people want to talk about how Aaron Rodgers has had talent. He's got an elite offensive line. He's got one of the best running backs in the game. He's got a top 3 wide receiver in the league. Devontae Adams is a freak, okay? They should be able to win. You know what? They're not wrong, but that's not the talent fault. That is a talented roster, and if your coaching staff can't make that win, it's not like Rodgers is out here throwing interceptions or Aaron Jones is fumbling twice a game. Their offensive line is blocking. Their defense maybe was a little lackluster, but you cannot put that on Aaron Rodgers. The success of this team is not based on what Aaron Rodgers did. If it was, they'd win the Super Bowl almost every year. He just won MVP. If the Packers aren't winning, it's because that front office and that coaching staff isn't putting that team in a position to win. And if you want to hold Aaron Rodgers accountable for that, that's, in my opinion, in poor taste. If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Broncos, one, I think it'll be hilarious because it'll prove that the Broncos only have success with picking up old-ass quarterbacks after they've had a successful career elsewhere. Like, Y'all can't win with your own man, so you just wait till some dude has a falling out, and you just pick him up, and you're like, okay, we're going to ride this coattail to the Super Bowl. Let's go. We could draft really well. We got a good team, but we can't get a quarterback. But we got A-Rod now, so let's go win a chip.
They can't draft a quarterback for the life of them.
Paxton Lynch, Drew Lock. Paxton Lynch is one of the bigger draft busts of the last several years, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Shout out Seahawks legend Paxton Lynch. Dude, he was electrifying in a preseason game. I don't know. I believe it was against the Denver Broncos too. He was electrifying. I don't know. You know I can't even remember it.
I probably missed that game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was a preseason game, bro.
Yeah. But the Broncos could be a Super Bowl team in the AFC next year. Like Aaron Rodgers brings that.
Man,
he brings that.
Aaron Rodgers,
you got Judy, got a good defense.
You probably put him on any other team in the NFL, and he probably makes 16 other teams, probably 17 other teams Super Bowl contenders.
For sure.
The same way, he's the Brady effect. There's only like 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the NFL that you could drop onto a team and just they're automatically going to be. I actually only think there's a few quarterbacks you could drop onto a team and just be the guy. Like it's a wrap. So one just retired. Like Drew Brees just retired, so that's done. Tom Brady.
Think about how interesting the NFC is going to be this year. Now, though, if we lose Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees in the same season,
it's kind of like LeBron effect. Like Brady went from the AFC where it was like pretty booty cheeks for quite some time. All of a sudden, he saw Mahomes. Like he's like, gotta go. Dips off to the NFC, goes and wins the Super Bowl. Like he's like, no, I can beat him, but like he's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it on the grand. I want to do it on the grand stage. Yeah, like I just need it.
But Brady's not going to be around much longer. Like I know we all say that every goddamn year, but he has to. He has to be gone in the next couple seasons. He's got to have better.
Absolutely
shit
not.
You got. I think you got to have better shit to do.
No, he's honestly. I think he's going to go to 50, and then his brand is going to explode. Like think about it, Matt. He could just load up on MVPs and Super Bowls and just continue to build his brand. And then at the end of the day, he turns around and just becomes a billionaire off of the TB12. And just like, listen, if you listen to me, you can be peak performance for the rest of your life. Like just be the greatest human being ever.
Because him and his wife being worth like 600 million, that ain't cutting it. We need to be worth a couple billion.
No.
Fuck off and go raise your family, Tom Brady. Okay, go kiss your son on the lips and get the fuck out.
No, it's dub season, man. He's going to get another chip. I don't want him to though. I really want to see an NFC. I want to see an NFC championship of Tom Brady versus Seattle Seahawks. I want the Seahawks, Tampa Bay in Seattle with the 12s rocking. And then I want AFC championship to be Patty Mahomes and the Chargers, and I want it to be
Chargers.
Yeah, I want it to be.
You think the Chargers are going to go to the Super Bowl this year, or the AFC championship?
They've done enough.
Hey, it could happen. I won't take it as the craziest pick, but that is a bold prediction considering the team.
They have to stay healthy. I think their corners are weak, but let's get into it right now.
Sure.
Your teams for next year. Who do you love coming out of this draft right now? That's got to be.
I wouldn't say my team. I wouldn't say my team for next year, but a team I'm really loving coming out of the draft, and I think it's a fan base that deserves it, and it's a player that I love. I think he's sick. I put out a tweet today. I think he's going to be better than Lamar Jackson in a couple years. I think the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields.
Let's do it.
Are some next level shit, bro. I think that's so cool. I think them getting rid of their starting left tackle for no good reason was weird, but I don't want to take that. I don't want to take away from the draft they had. They had a really good draft. I hope Justin Fields comes out and crushes it. I hope he is the offensive rookie of the year. Him or Kyle Pitts. I got a bet on Kyle Pitts, so I want to see that come through because the odds are longer. But
might have to double down and I might have to go and scoop some of the odds of Justin Fields offensive rookie of the year because I'm all aboard the hype train. I'm so happy for the Chicago Bears. They've become likable nowadays. It's crazy what they did in the draft and the fact that Fields fell to them. And if you saw the moment, like he was happy, but he was kind of in shock that he was like, damn, they came up to get me. Well, it is a perfect situation. And hear me out on this because Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace made a mistake a few years ago in taking Mitch Trubisky. They screwed up. They didn't get their quarterback, and now they have one chance to do it. They were trying to hit a home run and a grand slam in getting Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks. That's how we got to know the Chicago fan base a little bit better. Then they go out and become a meme because they get Andy Dalton. And then they make fun of themselves and they say he's the number one quarterback and da-da-da-da-da, and the draft hasn't happened. And he's sitting down at number 20, and I kept texting Austin, if you're listening to this, but Austin, I kept messaging him to see if he had any information on the Chicago Bears trading up, because I fully believed that they were moving up for Field. I'm super excited for Justin Fields because he was slandered. Like, he was slandered throughout this draft process. Deservingly. He went from the number 2 player mock draft everywhere to all of a sudden he was not even in the top 5, not even in consideration. Somebody had him drop into 32. Like, are you kidding me? The disrespect. And then it's coming out a couple days after the draft that people had him number 2 on their draft boards. Like 16 teams had them, like, him close to number 2 or number 3 in the draft.
Yep.
Behind Lawrence or Wilson, or was ahead of Wilson, which is fantastic. So now Fields, an extremely talented player, goes to a quarterback-starving fan base. Yeah. They have a savior. They have somebody, like, there's no better matchup than those two, I think. He could have gone to, like, a place that was perfect in terms of a situation and stuff like that. But he goes to a place that loves him, it has weapons on it, and is a win now mode, ready to rock and roll for him. Tevin Jenkins, another great pick by them, first round talent. They move up to take him. People were talking about him being taken at 20, and then they get Justin Fields at 11, and then they get Tevin Jenkins at like 40 something. I'm not going to be the mastermind. I don't remember what they got him at, 39 or something like that. But they get a first-round tackle, and then they go ahead and release Charles Leno. I think it was for cap reasons and stuff like that. I get that. It sucks. It's a business.
They still got Jimmy Graham on their roster.
But they have Jimmy Graham on the roster, and they release Charles Leno, who's been like a starter for 7 years. Like,
I'm hearing Jimmy Graham's on the chopping block, and they're probably going to get rid of him too, which is good. They should. I've made my feelings about Jimmy Graham pretty clear, but they should be getting rid of him. But to get rid of him before or after Charles Leno, if that's the move, is just weird. I don't know why you get rid of Charles Leno at all. He was getting paid a fair deal. He wasn't a super big cap hit. Solid player for them for 7 years. Weird. But I did like what you said about Chicago Bears being a win now team. And I think that goes back to the changes we're seeing in the NFC. Now, I know you think Tom Brady's going to play till he's 50, and that might happen, okay? But for the sake of my story, we're going to pretend he doesn't, okay? We're going to pretend he doesn't. We're going to pretend that this is Tom Brady's last year. Maybe he's got 2 more years in him, okay? The NFC is drastically changing. We no longer have the Saints, the Packers as the kind of teams you expect to see in the NFC Championship every year. Okay, they're gone. So Seattle's still here. San Francisco is now a team that is going to be in that slot. We're seeing a different dynamic in the NFC, and I'm really excited about it. Honestly, just full out. It's going to be a different battle this year.
You could see all 4 NFC West teams in the playoffs next year.
Yeah. The Cowboys are still a team that are going to play well. They have a talented roster. Whether they put it all together or not, it's another story. But they're another team in the NFC that's you got to show up and play. You do. Are the Giants going to be anything this year? Probably
I think they made some good strides in the offseason. I think they drafted really well. They moved back. They got some good pieces. Honestly, They did. They got a couple good pieces there. And then they also picked up Kenny Golladay in the offseason. They got Daniel Jones a weapon, Saquon Barkley coming back. A couple of guys fell to them. And they traded back and stockpiled picks. So next year they're in good pace.
Yeah, dude.
And next year's quarterback class is loaded.
Hey.
You thought this year was fun? Wait till next year. God.
Yeah, it's going to be
And
different.
God forbid, like a team like, Kyle Shanahan was having fun with it. Can we talk about that? Like leading up to the draft and why Mac Jones was the number 3 pick the entire time. And I had Mac Jones at the number 3 pick because everybody had Mac Jones at the number 3 pick. And then all of a sudden the bombshell comes the day of. the draft, or like the hours before the draft and everything, the rumors and everything that comes ahead. And Kyle Shanahan's sitting back there and he's like, you guys are dumb. You guys are so dumb. And then he just takes Trey Lance. He's like, I thought you knew. He's like on the phone with Trey Lance. He's like, I thought you knew. He's like, Coach, I had no idea. He's like, oh, like his poker, like I'd hate to play poker against him, because Kyle Shanahan's somebody I gotta, love and appreciate for, because great offensive mind. I just gotta appreciate the offensive geniuses that are in the NFL, even though he is in the NFC West. That's actually going to do it for us today at M&R Sports. Another episode of HawksNest. We were, busted up about a bunch of different topics today. I really enjoyed talking with you, Matty, as always. We're going to do more of the breakdowns. We're going to do more of the HawksNest. Right now, it's just the off season. We're kind of bored. So we just wanted to recap, kind of give our thoughts about everything that's gone on in the off season, just after the draft, and kind of seeing what's going on and all the rumors that are out, give our opinion on it. And that's about it. Make sure you guys are following us at M&R Sports 604 on YouTube. So make sure you guys subscribe, comment, like. If you haven't already, Stone Forsyth and new Damian Lewis tape is coming out too. Make sure you guys check out both of those breakdowns in the description below. And as always, go Hawks.
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.